Hey guys, today is a bonus video. Do you know what a bonus video is? Well, it falls on a bonus day, and I should probably explain that. Today is April 1st. I sent out a video this morning. Hopefully a lot of you saw my April Fool's video. But I was supposed to be in Tulsa. That's why I filmed that in advance. Yesterday, Kurt and I got on a plane. We sat out on the tarmac for about an hour. Of course, we missed our connection, and we're not going to be able to get into Tulsa until pretty much the show is over. So we just canceled the trip. That makes today a bonus day, meaning I wasn't even supposed to be here. And certainly I wouldn't have done a video. Well, actually I would have done the video from the Tulsa show. I apologize that I'm not able to do that. Now, back to the bonus video. I'm going to show you a pretty rare P.38, not in pristine condition, but something I think you'll, well, maybe you'll learn something. Here's the gun. We just got this in yesterday, and it's certainly video worthy. And again, you can see that it's not particularly beautiful. It is an AC-41, but it's a rare variation, and the way we're going to research this, by the way, this is the kind of gun you would walk by it in a gun show. If you were at Tulsa or a gun show or on auction, the person who sent it to us didn't realize it was a rare variation. You would walk right by it, but fortunately, I spotted it, and I'm going to share that with you. Now, I've talked about this book before, the P.38 book by Alex Krutschek. He's from Germany. This is written in English, but it's also available in German. We have it on the site. By the time you pay for postage, it's going to be about $100. But I just got a new brochure in, this red booklet. It's not even a book. We're calling it a brochure. I'm going to show you that as well because it has abbreviated information about the P.38. Let's take a look in the book about what makes this a rare variation. Okay, I just kind of fast forwarded through the book on chapter 2. This is a first variation AC-41, first variation in the A block, and we see the mixed proofs. Now, we did a video before about a BYF-43 in the Q block, and they had mixed proofs. I actually had two of them at one time, and we did this video, and we sold them both in a matter of minutes. People love the mixed proofs because it's an anomaly. In this case, the AC-41, first variation, so AC is on the trigger. After the first variation, trigger guard, excuse me. After the first variation, they didn't do that anymore. And AC-40, actually 0 series to AC-40, AC-41, all the way to AC-45, they only use the Eagle 359 proof. As you page through, you can see all the proof marks are Eagle 359. But for some odd reason, and it is a mystery, he talks about it here, Alex talks about it here, that says in the A block, so that's probably February. For those of you who don't understand the numbering system, it would start out with no suffix, so you would go 1 to almost 10,000. In the no suffix block, that would primarily be January, and then A suffix would be in February, and then of course March would be B, and that's how they would go through the numbering system. So we know in around February of 1941, they had mixed proofs. So let's try to solve the mystery. This would be a guess, but if you look at the Eagle Waffen 359, where have I seen that before? Well, being a Walther collector, in the Walther factory, we know that the Walther PP and PPK had Waffen-proofed guns. So we had a guy who had the Waffen-proof stamp. It was Waffen 359, and so one of two things could have happened. One, he accidentally set it down, and the inspector picked up the wrong one and put it on a P.38. And by the way, these are just they just randomly show up in the A block. There's only 20 known, and they go from about the 4,000 range to the 7,000 range, but there's only 20 known. And this one, let's see if this is number 21. The serial number is 5239A, and we look down here, and it is not recorded. And I'm not surprised because this is literally out of the woodwork. A non-collector said that he found this, belonged to somebody in his family, and he sent it to us. So we now have 21 known. This would be one of the ones in the A block, AC on the trigger guard, and then here are the markings. Now it's very, very faint, hard to see. We're going to take a picture as good as we can, but we admit that it's kind of hard to see. The finish is pretty much gone from the front strap. Interestingly, the magazine is much better than the gun. Notice the blue on the magazine, really nice. And it is an AC-41 magazine, I can tell from the numbering. But this one was in the B block, so this magazine was probably made about a month later. It does have the double stamp, which they only did that in 41 with numbered magazines. They would double stamp it. After that, it would just be a single proof. But this is a rare mixed proof, Eagle 359 and Waffen 359. Now, I was talking about the mystery of how this happened, and I said theory number one is the inspector for Waffen 359 set it down and somebody else picked it up. I don't think that's what happened. This is what I believe, and this is what makes sense. The Walther plant was huge. There were several buildings, and different manufacturing happened in different parts of buildings and even in separate buildings. I don't know the detail of what building was doing the PPs and PPKs versus what building were doing P38s, but they were completely separated. So I think what happened is maybe this inspector, 359, whoever was using that stamp, they had more than one set of stamps. They needed a little help. So they got on the intercom and said, "Hey, Joe, come on over, bring your stamp." That's not a good German name. "Hey, Dieter, come on over and bring your stamp and help us out." So the guy who had this stamp and was inspecting Walther PPs and PPKs, I believe he came over, helped out, and just randomly inspected some slides and used his own stamp. That's just my theory. Makes sense to me. My channel, I'm sticking with it. Okay, now new information. I mentioned this brochure, and we're offering this for the first time. It basically gives a summary. I'll show you a little bit about it. It's good for new, younger collectors because we can send it to you for $15 shipped. So let's take a look at it. This is the author, James. He's actually at the Tulsa show right now. I said I'll come by your table and see you. That, of course, never happened. But he goes through, and so he has just a write-up on every variation. Now, what you'll notice is there's no pictures, and of course the other book, it's more money, but it goes into a lot more detail, with the emphasis on a lot more detail. But if you just want a summary, 0 series, 480 codes, AC, no date, AC 40 added, AC 40, first variant, that's where we are right here. So he does talk about the AC first variation on the trigger guard, AC on the trigger guard, and then he talks about the serial range and the production numbers and the fact that they have a mixed proof. Now I mentioned this is more for the younger collectors who are just getting started because it's not a huge investment, but it's a very, I've just found a lot of really good information in here. So I do recommend it. As I said, we can offer it for the first time. All you have to do is email us, and you can figure out how to do that. You can just check it out. There's our email. And just email us, and we'll send you an invoice for $15 and ship it out right away. Speaking of young, new collectors, my bookmark was this quarter rupee. And I wanted to show it to you and offer it as a free giveaway. Remember, we like free stuff. As much as you like free stuff, I like encouraging younger, new collectors. So somebody gave this to me. They found it in their attic. Obviously came back from the war. It says, taken from a Jap in Burma. Misspelled Burma, by the way. There's no H on the end. 1944. Now, we don't say Jap anymore, but I'm just reading what they said back then during the war. They certainly did say it, and that's exactly what he wrote. Taken from a Jap in Burma, 1944. Best regards. I believe that is Staff Sergeant Tambisi. So here's what I'm going to ask. I said before, honor system. So this is honor system. We have no way of checking. We're not going to bother to check, but here's what I'd like to do. First of all, if you've already won something before, don't write to us and say, could you please send me the quarter rupee. All you have to do is email us. You know how to do that. And just say, I like free stuff, and say quarter rupee or just rupee. We'll know what it is. Now, rupee, I don't know what a rupee is, but it's got to be worth more than a ruble. But this is a quarter rupee from Burma. Let us know that you're interested. So A, you've never won anything before, and B, I'd like you to be under 21 years of age. This is a great way to get started with your collection from World War II. We're going to send this out for free, so let us know if you're interested. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new, And remember, today is a bonus day for me.